What is up, my legends? It's Scion. We're back with another SinOAlice video. We're ramping up. 6 days left. The 18th. 6 days left. It is now the 12th. So if you're counting down, you got 6 days left. All right. So the biggest question, the question I get in Discord, the question I get in DMs, and the question I get in comment sections is, who should I pick? Now, that question isn't as easy as you think it is, because technically there's no main in this game. I can will myself to say that I am a Little Mermaid main, which I am, because, well, if I had a wife, I want my wife to look like that. I'm just saying. Look at, like, she got the sexiest body and the most kawaii face I've ever seen as a video game. That face look like it can never break your heart, right there. So, Little Mermaid main. However, in global, she will not be there. She wasn't announced with the other characters, so we're gonna have to wait to actually get her. All them curves, all that cute face, that's not gonna be there. So what I am personally going after, since she will not be here, is the next in line, which is the Bae Cinderella. Now, Cinderella will be there. Now, here's the thing. You can have a favorite that you want to pick and everything, but certain girls are better in certain areas because it's their part of the story, and you're going to have to use them or you're going to be giving up currency. And as you can see right here, let's go to maybe alternative. Yeah. And you see the very first thing right there in her job level 1 is Blade 60% up in areas affiliated with Alice. So if I wanted to say use Little Mermaid, for one, there's going to be an area, like if I go into Alice's area with Little Mermaid, she's not going to have that bonus. See? Range 30% up affiliated Little Mermaid. So if it's not her area, she's not going to have that buff. And the harder the areas are and they get, you're going to have to use that particular job with that particular girl. Even if you like I like Little Mermaid, I'm going to want to bring her into places like this. At that point, you're just not min-maxing. And like, remember what I was saying before? 2 videos ago, I said it, that I can will myself to do something and not care about the mechanics of the game, and you can do that early in the game. You can easily do that up to like the first, like probably rank 100. You can just not give a fuck and do what you want, honestly. That's the same thing with the Sin jobs and everything else, but it's going to come to a point where you have to get serious, and that you're going to have to start paying attention to the way that the game works. And that's where the min-maxing comes in, and you're going to want to start to care because stuff is going to start hitting you harder. You're going to start to need to do better DPS, and you're going to have to actually, hopefully by then, have the characters and the jobs to facilitate doing all that. Now, the game does a really good job of actually giving you characters you can use. So you don't necessarily have to worry about that, even if you don't have summon luck. We're going to have to go out of this. Hold on a second. Actually, we need to go here. So starting out the game, as you see right here, you get to pick out of all these characters for first off and foremost. And the very first chapter in all of them is going to have one of each of these characters. You see, there's stuff that I haven't done because I don't care about those characters. But you get Alice, Snow White, Cinderella, Gretel, Arahime, Ezukin, Kagehime, and Pinocchio. Now you get to pick all of them, and they all have baseline classes that they start with that you can actually use. And you can use them to go down their chapters, or you can ignore it. But if you ignore it, you won't get, as you see, I got clears right here. That basically means that I ignored something and didn't use Alice or something, Alice affiliated area, because I probably didn't want to use Alice. But if you actually use the character, then you flat out complete it, and get all the currency in the area. You're going to want to get all the currency because you do not have all the currency. I particularly did not care in this particular playthrough because this was a reroll account that I eventually made a main account. So what I can do is I can go back to those areas that I did not 3-star. For those of you who understand, as you can see right there, didn't 3-star this. So if I want to actually go in here, same thing with this one and that one, and use an Alice affiliated for that particular area, then I can actually go in and get those particular 3-stars all the way through. That's why choosing your main, it's fine to have a girl that you like the best, but to actually complete a map, you're going to need to use the characters that are affiliated with the particular area, or use a weapon for a particular quest. It'll basically tell you what you need to do at that point. Same thing over here, like with these characters like this. You just use the character that is for the area to get the maximum rewards. Again, but you can still have a main though. You can still have somebody that you pick, and more importantly, you need to decide if you want to be a DPS, a support, or maybe more of a tanky. Do you want to be a single target DPS? Do you want to be an AoE DPS because weapons changed how you would feel about doing that? Do you want to be a support that just straight heals, or you want to go for support that goes for buffs? And there's different classes for that. So let me show you that. Back out. All right. So let's say also there's range DPS as well. So let's just take that as an example. Actually, I was just in there, but if you're going range, then that most likely means that you're going to be going for more of having a ranged weapon. So you, even though you can use all these the sword, the hammer, and the javelin, you're probably going to want to go for everything that's going to be ranged. It's going to be guns, bows and arrows and stuff like that, because as you can see, range is up for affiliate areas, and on top of that, it has another 10% in between on level 2, and I believe another one. No, that was it. This level 2. All right. But again, all of the buff is up for that particular one. So if you have the character, then you just bring it in for that particular area. Or if there's an event that is a Little Mermaid event, or whatever, you know, class it is, or whatever job it is at that particular point, you can have, like, you can bring in that particular girl or guy, because there's guys in this game, and you get the benefit of actually using them in that particular area. The same thing with the collabs. The collabs usually always have a benefit somehow in the area, or they just have a passive buff somehow from type of event. So keep that in mind as well. Now, me personally, when it's global, I'm going to be concentrating on Cinderella. I want all of Cinderella's jobs. It probably isn't going to work like that. Never works like that in gaming. Gaming is, especially gacha gaming, is random as F. And what's going to happen is it's going to give you jobs and classes from everywhere. So hopefully, when you go in, you're going to get the job for the particular person that you want to get. And there's going to be areas and times where it's going to appear. Like, maybe the job you're going to need is going to appear right here in the summon banner, if they keep it the same way, that is. And you're going to have to go out there. Like you see, like, we got Kaghime right there and Aladdin right there. If I need those particular two, then I would go in and say, hey, you know, I need that particular job. I'm going to go after it. And that's how you do it. But sometimes that's not going to be the case, and it's just going to be random, and you're not going to be able to get, like, if I want to get this particular version of Cinderella, the kimono version, which is pretty much a magic caster, as you can see right there, that's not going to happen. Probably it's just going to give me what what it wants to give me. It probably give me like freaking Alice as a magic caster, and even though it's not going to be what you necessarily want, you're probably going to have to use Alice. It's just how it is. Now, if it's going to be a Cinderella area, you're probably going to want to use a Cinderella in that particular area, because she's going to have just the overall buffer, and there's no reason to nerf yourself. But again, like I said, if you like certain things and you don't care about that particular thing, and it's not going to be detrimental, or you're going to lose a star or something like that, use what you want, as long as you win. Doesn't matter. But if it's going to be detrimental and you're going to need to 3-star a particular area, as I showed you, use the character that's for that particular area. Now, just a little bit of a reminder. Unless you are paying to win, you are not going to have resources to level every individual weapon and class, and like it's just not going to work like that. There's not enough resources in the game for that, for you to be just straight DPS and being like, oh my god, I'm gonna be support now. Unless you get to the point where everything starts to be maxed, like you see, like my armor right here is maxed. Now me personally, right now, I have weapons that I just turned to L. These two weapons right here, I need to level them. I need to level this as well. What I learned is, even though you want to max weapons like this and get strong and everything else, it's actually a little bit better. It's going to cost me more resources to start to level this. It's actually a little bit better to start doing the weaker stuff. Not necessarily weaker, but the stuff that isn't quite maxed yet, at least give it a little something, because it's easier to put resources into that right away than me trying to max the other weapon. And that gives you stats. Gives you your stats back that you lose when you upgrade, because it resets itself back to level 1. All right. Now, of course, you can work on. Oops, let me do that. Of course, you can work on maxing, like so that I had that particular spirit. I need to max. I need to max. Where'd it go? I need to max this spear. There's no doubt about that, but not really helping having these level 1 right now. So also, with that in mind, if you are about to upgrade stuff, you may want to hold off, because you're going to lose stats setting it back to level 1. When it starts to level up again, you'll get all the stats back and more, but it's just not worth doing that right away if you don't have the resources to actually level all of your weapons up. Now, also recently, all the anniversary weapons, I lost the stats on that, which we knew was going to happen around the 9th, I believe it was, the 8th or the 9th. And I'm going to slowly start to replace those things out. And you see, I keep doing that. Now you see, basically, I have these two up to 53, and that gets some of the stats back that I lost from it being at level 1. I think I'm a little bit over what I originally had with them, so I should be like around 123 or 124. I was at 130, but it dropped down. And then you just have this stuff, which, as you put more into it, because this is a limit broke weapon, it's the event weapon, 5's weapon. And I have an extra one on top of that I don't even know what I'm going to do with that right now. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to have to start farming for gold too, because I am running out of gold. As we go into here, what am I back up to now? I'm up to 125 now. Cool. I was at 121 this morning, so I got a majority. I got almost half of that. The points I lost from the L weapons going back to being like normal like weapons, which is fine. But yeah, so me in general, again, I'm going Cinderella. I'm gonna try for all of Cinderella stuff because that's who I want to use. But again, you have to pretty much get majority of stuff if you want, like, to get different classes and different jobs. You want to go single target, then you go breaker. You want to go hammer. Breaker is actually go in and just say it. As you can see, blade. You can see, and the weapon for that is pretty much she's gonna do damage and heal over that, which is pretty cool. I like that weapon, especially for a damage dealer who does not have many means of healing. Weapons like that are really key. Then you have hammer. We'll go in, and the hammer for this is an S hammer, hammer to Depravity. Deal small damage to 1 or 2 enemies, increase own physical defense and magic defense for a small amount. So there's a little bit of a tank weapon, which is really good. I definitely want to look for stuff like that when you want to be more tanky and survive stuff. So, you know, kind of a Crusher could be a little bit more of that tank. So he has that physical up to and damage. So keep that in mind as well. Let's see. We already looked at range. We did not look at this one. So let's just look at this one. This is the Gunner. I like this look on her. It has like the things flying around and everything else. SinOAlice is just a cutie. I just like her. Handgun of Envy. Deal moderate damage to an enemy. Increase power. More fire on weapons in the main grid. As you guys could see. That's pretty good overall. Makes the single target kind of like a nuke class. So if you want to go that range. Again, very, very hard. I want to reiterate this to you guys. It's super hard to level a bunch of weapons in this game without paying. So you really want to make sure early of what you want to do. If you want to go for, like, if you want range, then you gotta get all range weapons. You want to go melee, then you gotta get all melee weapons. And if there's a weapon that has a buff, say like this, as you can see, fire on power for more fire weapons in the main grid. Now you want to have fire weapons. You want to have fire ranged weapons. I mean, put that up there. Fire ranged weapons. So just make sure that that is what you want to actually go after, so she can have more benefit for that. And as you can see right there, she has a water element down, so you don't want to use water elements weapons in there because it's going to be down 25%. If you don't want to deal with that, then you can use like a normal type. Let's see, where's the normal? Gunner. See, you can just use this if you want to just go straight, you know, range weapons, everything else like this. But this is a step down, so just keep that in mind to pick and choose where you want to use it, and don't fight certain enemies if you really need water, or bring a different job if you need water. Bring somebody who's going to be detrimental to water, stuff like that, to kind of mix and match, because you can rock paper scissors, that sort of thing. All right, so I think we're done with the boring stuff. We gotta do what we normally do. I always like to leave you guys with a summon, so we're gonna try for this again. I don't mind spending it because I actually have a lot saved. I have over, I can just show you right now. I have that much. So all right, little girl. Are you gonna punch? Are you gonna kick? Or are you gonna Raging Demon? Or are you gonna do nothing? Raging Demon. That poor dude. He gets abused. Alright, a harp. And a spear. We got nada. Okay, so that's about it for you guys. I have one more video to talk about because you'll see. You guys will see. So I hope I gave you a better understanding on what main you should pick if you're gonna pick a main. I wanna pick somebody fun. I always like looking at a cutie with them up here. It needs to be a cutie. This is also interesting because they're not really a cutie though. But well, kinda. It's just kind of weird, but it's still interesting at the same time. I guess because she's new, she could be there. You leave her because she's kind of cute that way. But yeah. So I hope I gave you guys a good. Can also be a red. Well, is red one of the characters? I don't remember, but you can also be a Red Riding Hood main because that's a thing. She's cute. She ain't thick, but she cute. Yeah. So again, I hope I helped you guys understand on what job you want to pick, and you know that even though you want to be a main, you still have to adhere later on to the way that the game works and the way that it runs. Like, you kind of do what you want in the beginning. You can literally do what you want, like, first 2 chapters of the game. You can kind of do what you want and then go back when you get better characters and do stuff like that. But once the game starts to move on and move further, you're going to have to start to pay attention to the areas and start min-maxing and doing damage, especially if you're in guilds. Nobody wants to be messing around with somebody who's not using the proper element on a fight and stuff like that. And so, yeah. So I'll catch you guys next video. Be legendary. Good luck on your summons as always, because this is a gacha world and it's all RNG. Peace.